Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today we are going to be sewing this very particular design. We're going to be cutting it and sewing it. This is originally from me. I don't know what name to give to it. So this is what it looks like. If that's what you want to see, then keep watching to the very end. Like this video, subscribe to this channel for more tutorials like this, okay? So I finished up everything by attaching a cord lace to the inner part of it, just so I can make it look, so it doesn't look simple or regular. Okay, so let's head straight to the pattern drafting, which is very important and is going to help you understand this video very, very well. So let's head straight to it. You'll be needing your basic bodice front. If you haven't seen a video where I drafted it, I have quite a number in my channel. So you want to leave a comment and I will link you to I'll drop the link so you will follow the video. So I'm going ahead now to attach my bust circumference. I also have a video for that, okay? So having attached my bust circumference, I'll go ahead now to draw in this very structured detail, okay? I'm going to be explaining this detail. I went by 1 inch from my normal bust circumference because I want this structured detail to come up a little bit, like to make that statement, okay? I don't want it to be lower. I want it to come up to make that statement, okay? So having done that, this is what I'm doing right now. I'm taking it inwards, I'm curving it inwards to create the sweetheart neckline from that 1 inch that I raised from the normal bust upon circumference. Now for the other part of it that came by the side, there's actually no measurement for this, but then you have to draw from what you're doing on your pattern paper should let you know if you're accurate or not. I'm kind of marking that 1 inch all the way around my bust apart measurement, sort of a guideline to help me. Now I'm using dotted lines to see what it's going to look like. Okay, I'm using dotted lines to see what it's going to look like. Like I said, this design is originally from me. I'm not looking at anywhere. So as I'm working now, my brain is kind of trying to see what it looks like. Okay, so this is what I'm doing right now. I don't want the design to go into the dart. Not that it won't come out nice, but I'm scared of what will happen if it goes into the dart because I'll go ahead to close up that. So I'm trying to avoid the design going into the dart. But trust me, next time, you guys, this design will go into the dart and I'll face the fear and conquer it, okay? So I'm going ahead to do this now. And this is what I have for the layer which is going to be sewn into the main bodies, and I think I'm okay with it. So for that place that is going to come up, like that part that is up that you're seeing, the part that is giving the the statement structure, so I went ahead to bring 3 inches all the way down from that very top 1 inch that I raised, and I'm trying to see what is going to look like. Okay, I'm kind of checking out what is going to look like. And you see what I arrived at very soon, just now. Trying to check this out. So I think I'm okay with that I made at the dotted line. So I'm going ahead to mark it to make it visible for you guys to see. And it didn't even enter into the 3 inches mark again. But it's okay. It's okay. I think I'm loving what I have. I'm okay with what I'm seeing. Like, I think it's going to come out nice. So you guys, this is what it looks like, okay? So having done that now, this is what we're having. And I think I'm okay with it. So this is what we're having. And now next thing we are going to be doing is this. Just watch closely so you understand everything that I'm saying. I'm going ahead to check where my mid shoulder is, and I've marked it. So this tutorial is actually a shoulder princess seam, not an armhole princess seam. So I'm going to be connecting my mid shoulder to my bust point, okay, which is for the shoulder princess seam, okay. We are not using an armhole princess seam, we are using a shoulder princess seam. So I've gone ahead to connect that. I'm going ahead now to trace out that very particular design that I marked. And this is what it looks like after I've traced it out. Okay, as you can see, I imputed all my necessary darts. Please do go ahead to do that in your traced out pattern. Now I'm checking where the yoke is going to be. So I just left it at that part, which is okay. I left it at that part and I labeled the yoke. So that is my yoke, okay? So having done that now, I'm kind of smoothing out that area because it looks like it's straight. So that's my yoke, and I've gone ahead to trace out that very particular design. Okay, Then for that very white area, as you can see at the top of the screen, the dress, the top at the top of the screen, please. That white area that looks like a V, that is what I'm trying to impute now. For my mid shoulder, I'm going ahead to impute it now. Like the way we mark that, I'm marking ½ inch on both sides, okay? The way we mark that, I'm marking ½ inch at both sides. I'm connecting it to meet at that very sweetheart neck point, okay? I'm connecting it to meet at that very sweetheart neck point. So I'm joining everything together to meet at the very part where the sweetheart neckline is. I hope that is understandable. And I'm using my pen to make it visible. Some of you complained that you don't really see what I'm doing because I'm in a faint pen or whatever. So when I rule a line, I try to double rule it to make it visible for you guys. So I'm going ahead to kind of trace this out also, fresh pattern paper. This is what it looks like. I'm gonna have to trace this on a fresh pattern paper, and this is what the both of them look like. I'm kind of labeling to which side that I'm going to be joining to the neck area and which side to be joined to the armhole area, so that you don't mix things up. Please be sure you label, okay? So I'll be setting this aside now, and we'll go ahead to work on the main bodies. So I'm going to open up my side bust dart like so. I'm going ahead to open up my side bust dart, and I'm opening it at the shoulder, my mid shoulder, to create the shoulder princess seam, please. My mid shoulder to create the shoulder princess seam. I'm going ahead to tape this down, okay? If you've been following my channel, you should be a guru at all this princess seam, whatever by now, okay? So I'm going ahead to tape this down, and this is it right now. So I haven't done that. I'm smoothing out this curve to make sure it's smooth. We don't want any pointed edge, okay? I'm smoothing it out, okay? So I'm going to have to contour my bust, marking 1 inch on both sides. I'm going to have to contour my under bust, and I'm marking 1 inch at both sides, okay? And I'm connecting it like so to my bust point, of course, to my waistline dart. With my ruler now, I'm going ahead to, with my scissors, I want to go ahead to take this out. But before that, I'm imputing that dart which was included now. What I am afraid of has finally caught up me. The dart of the contour for the under bust has gone into that very particular design. But there's no problem, we'll work on it. We're going to face this fear. So I'm going ahead now to remove the contour of the under bust and also the waistline dart, okay? So I'm smoothing my bust area like so. So this is what it looks like, okay? And this is what it actually looks like. So I haven't done this now. I'm going ahead to check out the whole thing that I marked. Like, I'm trying to put it in order to see if it aligns, you know, like the way we drew. When you're using a pattern, I keep drawing to make sure I'm in alignment. I don't want to cut on my fabric and I find that I've made a mistake now. So I'm removing the yoke on this side. I also go ahead to remove the yoke on this very particular side also. So now I'm going ahead to join back the yoke together. Because it's a shoulder princess seam, I'll just go ahead to join back that midpoint of the shoulder that we cut to achieve our shoulder princess seam, okay? So I'm going ahead to join it back together. So this is this now. And this is that very particular area. Because we are going to be joining this is what we're having, as you can see. This is what it looks like, okay? This is what it looks like. So I'm going to eliminate my darts on the structured design, okay? I'm going to have to remove the darts that went into it, and I'll taping this together. So I'm checking this out, and this is what we're having now. Like, I'm trying to make sure everything is in alignment. Everything has to align. So After checking it, and I think I'm okay with what I have. Everything is okay. Everything is nice. I'm going ahead now to detach this very particular area because we are sewing that structure defect round like so before attaching this very particular area. From the picture, just have a close look at the picture at the top of the screen. Is it left or right part of the screen? You will see that it went into that area. So I'm labeling A, B, C, D. I actually have 4 patterns. A, B, C, D. Okay. I actually have 4 like this. A, B, C, D. So I'm setting them aside now. And now we have to work on that structured effect. I want it to stand. I don't want it to lap. As you can see, it's standing on the image. It's standing. Okay, on the mannequin, it's standing. So I'm going ahead now to make it to stand. That is what I'm doing right now. I'm drawing in slash lines so it will be able to stand. So having drawn in the slash lines, I'll slash and spread it. Okay. So now we'll head straight to the sewing. I'm removing the notches so I see clearly. If you always follow my tutorial, you know that whenever I'm sewing bustier, I like starting from my under bust because that is the point where you need to come out nice. Every other place also needs to come out nice, but I think my under bust is my major area of concentration. So I started from my under bust to stitch, and of course, I'm going ahead to sew up the other part. So having done that now, we're also going ahead to stitch up the other part like so. So this is what it looks like. We'll go ahead to sew in the other side. And this is what the other side is looking like, okay? So having done this now, we're going ahead to attach that structure defect. So this is the structure defect. This is it. So we're going ahead to attach it. And that is what I'm going to be doing right now. You want to start from the part where your what is it called? Your sweetheart neckline started from, and we'll go ahead to attach it. Please be careful while doing this. You don't want to rush while sewing. You want to be careful while sewing so you do not make mistakes or so you do not alter the design and you end up having something else as your end result. So this is me going all the way down to sew it. Like this part is very technical. I'm not going to lie to you. This part is very technical. So you want to be careful while sewing it, okay? So that you don't have rumples. It doesn't fold. Okay. So this is what we're having on one side. I'll go ahead to sew up the other side. And this is what we are having, okay? So I'm going ahead to attach that other part that I told you about. So I marked a notch where it should align with the other part of the bodies. Notches are very important. Like notches will ease you of stress. Notches will keep you in line. So I'm going ahead to mark it, and this is what it looks like. I'm starting now to sew it all the way down. So having done that, I'm going ahead now to sew up that very top area part of it. As you can see on the screen, I'm going ahead to sew up that very top area part of it. I'm removing the excess interface. I'm supposed to do this off camera, but sorry, I just realized that I didn't remove it. So I'm removing it now, the excess interface, and we'll go ahead to start sewing like so. Like I said, mark your notches so you know where it should be at the neckline area and where it should be at the armhole area. So that's what I'm doing right now. So I'm going to head to sew in the other part. So this is what it looks like, okay? Wow. So we're going ahead to attach that yoke to the main bodies. I'm going to now to attach the yoke to the main bodies, okay? So I'm pinning it like I'm trying to make sure it aligns. And this is the way we are attaching the yoke now. You want to lift the needle from the machine and turn it to the direction you want to sew. Then you put it down and go ahead and start sewing.